This track here was more of a road at the time, and they did move down in that direction towards a place called the Circus down there, Circus Trench, but none of that we can see from this point. It's the 2nd of October now, early in the morning, about 7:30. We've just walked up from the Abbey Road up behind us, more or less following the route that the New Zealanders took on this day. We're on the line now of the Circus Trench, which led over the hill down there to this circus itself, which was just a complex of trenches, and then the Abbey. The Abbey wasn't in the New Zealanders' territory. The situation got a bit confused because they overran their objectives. They couldn't see where they were, they didn't know where they were because of smoke and fumes and all sorts of things like that. And they were heading in this direction then, up. They had to swing to their right. German gird line is up in front here, about 300 metres, and that's where Alf, Fred, Harris and the rest of the boys were heading. And Alf, of course, didn't come back from there. It's definitely not comfortable to walk. This is the point right now where I am, where the body of Alf Cowie was found. There's a little bit of tolerance in the map coordinates, of course. Could be 50 metres either way, but this is the centre point. The gird trench line was up that way. We've just come from there. Gird support was behind. This remained German occupied area for another 2 months. 100 or less than 100 metres up this way was the body of John Fitzgerald, the runner I was talking about, was found. Another guy, Sergeant Allen, R.H. Allen, just over here. And there was a few other Kiwis around here in the nearby area as well. And all of them, of course, were beyond German lines. So they must have overrun, and then the main forces pulled back, of course. The report at the Court of Inquiry into Alf's death, which they did for everybody who died, states a witness as saying this. The report states, "Last seen wounded in a shell hole by Sergeant Spark. Spark sent a man to bandage him, but unfortunately a minute later a shell landed in the hole and nothing more was seen of Mr. Cowie." So that's a direct quote from the report. And then he was first reported just wounded, but the following day that was amended to killed in action. So that was Alf's story. Now we have to mention Fred Harris again too, because he was here as well. He was my other great uncle on the other side of the family. And there's not much written about him. He was a private. He was in the same company as Alf. He survived the Somme here, but he was awarded a military medal for gallantry in the field, but it's not really known where it happened. I think it probably did happen here because it was awarded just a few weeks afterwards. And he went further north, and then he was wounded at a place called Hupline up north, about 70 kilometres from here. Wounded, sent to England, to hospital in England, spent several months in hospital, recovered from that well. And I've read letters, we've got letters written back home. He was in good state of mind. And being a farmer, he was interested in the farming around the area where the hospital was. Then unfortunately, there was a spinal meningitis epidemic going round. He caught that and was sent to an isolation hospital and subsequently died in hospital in January 1918. So he didn't make it back to New Zealand either. Now that we're here at the point of the first SOM, where the first SOM ended for the Kiwis, they left the area here on the 4th of October, but they had to come back again in 1918 to do it all again, basically, because the Germans came all the way through this territory again in early 1918, retook all this country was taken again. And then the New Zealanders were involved in pushing them back again. And that happened over there where we can see a white building in the background there, more or less on the horizon, and there's a long wood on the horizon there, and that all happened there. In that time they were heading this way, in this direction, and that is only about 3 kilometres from here in a straight line. Happened 2 years later, going in a different direction, coming from left to right as we see it now. AlfFound now is buried just over the hill there, out of shot for you, and we're going there now just to say hello to him, and the sun's coming out.